Welcome to today's capsule, where we will be exploring the fascinating history of automobiles. The invention of the automobile has drastically changed the world, transforming the way we live, work, and travel. But how did it all begin? From the first steam-powered vehicles to today's self-driving electric cars, join us as we take a journey through the evolution of transportation. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Before we continue, feel free to like the video and subscribe to our channel, which will help us enormously be more successful. The early years of the automobile industry can be traced back to the late 1700s and early 1800s, when inventors began experimenting with steam-powered vehicles. Nicolas Joseph Cugnot, a French engineer, built the first steam-powered road vehicle in 1769, which was essentially a tricycle with a steam engine attached. However, this early vehicle had limited speed and range, and it was mainly used for military purposes. In the following decades, inventors continued to experiment with steam power, leading to the development of more advanced steam cars, such as the one built by George Stephenson in 1801. However, these vehicles still faced several limitations, including high fuel consumption, the need for frequent stops to refill the boilers, and the risk of boiler explosions. It was not until the invention of the gasoline-powered engine that the automobile began to take shape as we know it today. The first gasoline-powered vehicle was built by Carl Benz in 1885, and it marked a significant turning point in the history of automobiles. The gasoline engine offered several advantages over the steam engine, including faster speeds, greater range, and lower fuel consumption. With the advent of the gasoline engine, the automobile industry started to grow, and the first cars began to be produced in large numbers. The early years of the automobile industry were characterized by the rapid development of new technologies, designs, and production methods. Inventors continued to refine the gasoline engine, and new models were introduced with improved performance and greater reliability. The early automobiles were primarily used by wealthy individuals and for commercial purposes, and they were considered luxury items. However, as the industry grew, the price of automobiles began to decrease, and they became more accessible to the general public. By the late 1800s, the automobile industry had become a global phenomenon, with cars being produced and sold in many countries around the world. The growth of the automobile industry between the 1880s and 1920s was marked by the rise of mass production techniques and the introduction of the assembly line. Prior to this period, automobiles were built by hand, which was a slow and expensive process. However, in 1913, Henry Ford introduced the assembly line to the automobile industry, which allowed for cars to be produced faster and at a lower cost. The assembly line allowed for each stage of the production process to be broken down into smaller tasks, which were performed by specialized workers. This made it possible to produce cars at a much faster rate, and it also reduced the cost of production, making cars more affordable for the general public. As the automobile industry grew, new technologies and designs were introduced, and the market for cars expanded rapidly. Cars became more reliable and affordable, and they became an integral part of daily life. The advent of the automobile culture was marked by the growth of road networks, the rise of the automobile industry, and the growth of related industries such as the petroleum industry and the rubber industry. The automobile industry created new job opportunities, and it had a profound impact on the economies of many countries around the world. In addition to the growth of the automobile industry, the period between the 1880s and 1920s saw the development of new forms of transportation, such as airplanes and automobiles. The growth of these industries was facilitated by advancements in technology and materials science, and it had a significant impact on the way people lived, worked, and traveled. The growth of the automobile industry also had a profound impact on the environment, leading to the growth of urban areas and the spread of automobile culture to rural areas. By the 1920s, the automobile had become an integral part of daily life, and it was widely recognized as one of the most important inventions in human history. The golden age of automobiles, which took place between the 1920s and 1960s, was a period of tremendous growth and innovation in the automobile industry. During this time, the industry experienced a boom, and cars became more accessible and affordable to the general public. The era was characterized by the growth of the automobile culture, the expansion of the automobile industry, and the introduction of new technologies and designs. During the golden age of automobiles, the automobile industry was marked by the introduction of new technologies, such as the widespread use of gasoline engines and the development of the electric starter. Cars also became more stylish and luxurious, with the introduction of new body styles, such as the convertible, and new technologies, such as the radio. The automobile industry also experienced rapid growth, with the number of cars produced and sold increasing dramatically. The growth of the automobile industry was facilitated by advancements in technology and materials science, and it had a significant impact on the way people lived, worked, and traveled. The golden age of automobiles also saw the rise of the automobile culture, with cars becoming an integral part of daily life. The automobile became a symbol of freedom and mobility, and it was widely recognized as a status symbol. Cars became an important part of popular culture, with movies, music, and advertisements often featuring cars as a central element. The growth of the automobile culture was facilitated by the expansion of road networks, the growth of automobile-related industries, and the development of new forms of transportation, such as highways and airports. By the end of the golden age of automobiles, the automobile had become an essential part of daily life, and it was widely recognized as one of the most important inventions in human history. The era marked a turning point in the history of automobiles, and it set the stage for the growth and development of the automobile industry in the decades to come. The modern era of automobiles, which started in the 1960s and continues to the present day, is characterized by a continued emphasis on safety, fuel efficiency, and environmental sustainability. During this period, the automobile industry has continued to grow and evolve, with new technologies and designs emerging to meet the changing needs and expectations of consumers. One of the defining features of the modern era of automobiles is the continued emphasis on safety. Governments and industry organizations have implemented various regulations and standards aimed at improving the safety of cars, such as seatbelt laws, airbag requirements, and crash test ratings. In addition, car manufacturers have developed new safety technologies, such as anti-lock brakes, electronic stability control, and backup cameras. Another important aspect of the modern era of automobiles is the focus on fuel efficiency and environmental sustainability. In response to rising fuel prices and concerns about climate change, car manufacturers have developed new technologies aimed at improving the fuel efficiency of cars, such as hybrid engines and electric vehicles. In addition, governments and industry organizations have implemented various policies and regulations aimed at reducing emissions and promoting the use of alternative fuels. The modern era of automobiles has also seen the rise of new forms of transportation, such as ride-sharing services and autonomous vehicles. These new technologies have had a significant impact on the automobile industry, and they have the potential to transform the way people live, work, and travel. The modern era of automobiles has also been characterized by increased globalization, with car manufacturers expanding their operations and building cars in countries around the world. In conclusion, the history of automobiles is a story of progress and growth, and it is a testament to the power of innovation and the human spirit. As we look to the future, we can be sure that the automobile industry will continue to evolve and grow, and that the automobile will continue to play an important role in shaping the world we live in. And that's a wrap on our video on the history of Christmas. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed learning about the history of automobiles. So, don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting content. See you in our next capsule.